Then I also have other bezels like these that are very shallow and small. Those are great too because you can use them for your fabrics, as you'll see. I'm going to show you. So I'm going to use this one here. This is fun. There's a design on the back. So if you are making jewelry out of these, it's nice because either way, if it flips over, which many times they do, it's still pretty on the back as well as on the front. That's a good thing to bear in mind. Now I took a piece of the fabric that we did in the previous segment, and I'm going to pull off the back. So the back is sticky. Remember we made a big people sticker? I'm going to put that inside and stick it down. That's one way of securing your fabric inside the bezel. Now, if you don't have adhesive to use for that purpose, you can use a clear white glue and just put a few dabs down and then make sure you burnish it really well like that so that none of the flaps will curl up. And then you would let that dry. If you don't let that dry, that's when you get in trouble. It becomes a gooey mess. The resin mixes with the glue and you will get tons of air bubbles. Now, the kind of like, the evil sorcerer of doing resin are the air bubbles. They will come to get you every time, I promise. So you want to take every precaution you can to make sure they're not around, which means making sure that your piece inside is completely dry and flat. All right, so use double-sided adhesive or use glue. Now I'm going to use this UV curing resin. This is one of my favorites. It is non-toxic and it doesn't smell at all, so it's great to use around kids, and it's fast. That is the best part. Now when we do resin, there are two different ways. We want to do the first layer flat, and then if you like the doming effect, when it has a dome on top of it, you'll do a second layer on top of that. So many times people starting out with resin do too much. They put too much resin in there because they think it's going to create a dome, and they end up with this big gooey mess that is a disaster to clean up. So what you want to do is just go drop by drop. Again, this doesn't take much. And all I do is take a little bit here, a little bit there. Okay, that is not too tough, right? And then you maybe move it around a little bit so that you've got it touching all the edges. And that is important because, again, this resin is clear, so it's kind of tough to see to make sure that you've got it touching all the edges. The other thing, if you want to be sure about this, is it is self-leveling. So you could put this piece off to the side while you're making another one and another one and another one, and it will self-level and be completely level by the time you bring it over to your lamp. All right, so now what we're going to do, I happen to be lucky this time. There are no air bubbles. Yes. But I will show you later on what to do if you have air bubbles. I'm taking this, again, it's on a business card, so that you don't spill the resin as you're walking over to the light. And I'm putting that in the light. I'm going to turn my lamp on. And I will also be doing my nails at the same time as I'm doing my jewelry. I'm just kidding, but isn't that a good idea?